Alright, hello everybody. I'm back to doing what I'm doing. I'm gonna read you the part of my novel. I talked about this on Twitter, that I wrote a chapter about a DMT trip. I haven't ever done DMT, so this just comes from what I've heard others say. So there's actually two chapters that stretch out the DMT trip. The first one involves three characters, and the last part involves seven characters. And I just wanted to read this real fast because, and just keep in mind that this is just a rough draft. This just came out of my head, and I just kind of let it flow. I haven't had a time to edit it or anything like that. So I think I'll read till about right there. So I'm gonna so here we go. They had their eyes closed. They could hear a drum beat bang slowly and deep. The sound created a vibration that aligned with their high. They feel the beat inside their chest. Then the beat slowly echoed throughout their body, intensifying the high as it spread out like a spider's web. They heard a voice in the background. Chaka waka chaka chaka ika bika baka boo. Jill thought it was a strange chant to go along with the drumbeat. Then they could feel themselves slowly move forward. They got closer to the chant. They began to notice the phrase change. It is time. Ika bika baka boo. Their bodies began to push closer to somewhere that they did not know while their eyes were still closed. As they went a little farther, the voice of the chant says, it is time to wake up. As soon as the chanter said the words wake up, their eyes opened to a terrifying sight. They first noticed that their souls were shackled as they moved along the air to a pit of fire. A skeleton was beating the drum while shaking its head up and down. The skeleton's jaw keeps going up and down as if it is trying to make an odd laugh, but the only sound is its teeth touching each other. Okay, and right there I'm going to stop. I'm not going to go anymore. I just kind of wanted to give that little bit, something that I was kind of working on yesterday, and it goes down, but I just wanted to, I'll probably do, like I said, I haven't edited or anything like that. That was just something that came out of my mind that I added to, what chapter am I on? 27. I almost got 50,000 words, which is good. Tonight I'm gonna start editing chapter 28. I got about close to 50 chapters in this book, so it's going to take me probably the complete 4 weeks because I'm also writing my dissertation. If anybody doesn't know what a dissertation is, that's like a college paper when you're going for a PhD, and you have to do a study. But the actual dissertation that you write is like the novel that I'm writing, and it's like 5 chapters, and I've read dissertations anywhere from like 180 pages, 180 pages to like close to 500. So, you know, just, I mean, I'm doing a lot of intense writing right now and reading. I had to give a week's break off the reading and start writing my literature review because my mind was so I felt like I just couldn't, like, I needed a break from all that. But anyways, so I'm going to read you a little bit of what I put together for my dissertation literature review, which is the second chapter. I've completed what they call the prospectus, and it's kind of like the beginning of the outline to your dissertation. Chapter 2 is the literature review. So last night, what did I do? I just wrote down 247 words, probably maybe in 30 minutes, just after everything that I had been doing, thinking about for my study. So, and the way how I write this is not going to be the way that it is on my dissertation. This is just my thoughts of everything that I've learned, just emptying down to the paper that I'm going to write. And I'll edit and make it a lot more, scholarly, you know, when that happens. But this is like a rough draft. So here we go. Okay, thinking about everything that I have read. I would like to begin my literature review with unions. Unions are the reason for the horrible situation with conflict management systems today. Business organizations adapted the way the unions handled conflict, which was a deceptive system where employees thought the company had their best values in mind. Hold on, I saw something that I needed to edit real fast. The conflict management systems that unions used to handle conflict management was modeled after the criminal justice system. Employees are not criminals. Through writ during the 1200s and 1300s, the King of England took firm control of the laws of the land. During this time, if someone committed a crime, the crime was against the king. The victim was the king, not the person who was actually hurt. Today, in civil and criminal court, the victim is now the state. And, you know, if you break a rule against a company, you are not breaking the manager's rules, but the company's rules, the company, organization, or corporation's rules. Your crime is always against something fictitious, not the person who is harmed. If someone is always intervening in your problems, then you do not have a chance to heal or grow, except to that which has power over your fate. Unitive leadership can change that direction. The road that humanity can change the direction from the road that humanity continues to travel. The dualistic world is just a fantasy that always gives you an enemy. If you always have an enemy, then your organization cannot heal and grow like it is meant to be. So that is the that kind of sums it up right there of everything that I wrote down. I'm gonna start writing more on that tonight after I finishing the editing on chapter 28. Back to kind of like some of the stuff that I've talked about in previous things. So I'm still holding out till about like March, April. If nothing happens by then, it's dead. I'm still trying to figure out what the time period from what I read was. Okay, well, one thing I do know, either way this goes, or either way that you believe it to go, the economy is going to be destroyed. The Democrats will they will screw things up more than what the other person would have. the other person actually had a plan in place, and that would actually be like a buffer while everything was being like rebuilt back up. But if the Democrats are in power and it's meant to be that way, then you guys are in for a hell for 4 years. I will tell you that much. The worst possible things that you can think of, will probably happen. You will probably witness people. I mean, if you haven't already seen it, but more homeless, more crime, just more of everything amplified. And it doesn't really, and it doesn't have to do with one party or the other, per se in the whole. Like I said, I don't believe in the dualistic thing. I'm not a dualistic person. I'm just trying to help, really. But I will say that I there could be some weird things that happen here soon, which make me think that it's not over yet. But either way, the next person is supposed to be the Great Uniter. It's not this person, and it's not Trump. It's somebody who comes after them. It comes during the 2024, 2020, whoever the president will be in 2025, the one we vote for in 2024. If that's the way it happens. There could be something that happens that resets everything in March or April, in which that president would be the president. That would be considered the Great Uniter. And that's why I'm this is kind of confusing, so I'm kind of waiting until like after April to kind of affirm that, because if that's the case, then it sets back time frames from everything else that I said, because everything was kind of based off of like, a 4-year presidential period. If for some reason, there's a new election in March or something like that, then that kind of changes a lot of my projections. Probably you could just minus it 4 years. But I'm trying to remember so hard how this. Either way, there's gonna be a lot of hard times. You can already see that, Biden's basically destroying America. I mean, his first days in office, what did he lose? 50 to 100,000 jobs. He took away women's rights and all this other things. So it's, yeah, it's a sad day for America. But I do know that everybody does pull through. I'm trying to think. I think this is the time I was trying to change. If so, then I failed. But astrologically, and don't give up. I've been looking into that, and there's a lot of good energy around 2024. So, and before that, so don't give up hope. But the Republicans and the Democrat, we know that they're dead. A new party will rise. What party that is, I don't know. But something new is going to rise, because both those parties have destroyed America together. And why would you keep voting for the people who want to destroy this country? I mean, both parties made that clear, that they do not care about any of you. So why continue to vote for those two parties? As a matter of fact, we shouldn't even have this one whole system. And I hope that a lot of the knowledge that I write in my dissertation paper brings out that we need to be, one. We really need to take a look at everything, and we need to look at it from a realization of truth. And when we talk to people, there can't be no harborness or hate or anything like that. But nothing's going to heal under Biden, and nothing's going to heal under Trump. I can tell you that much. But the only way that healing is going to occur is going to come after, when new people are in charge and when the old powers are definitely gone, because the new powers should rise at about that time. Oh man. And so, but we do need to, like, just be positive, think positive thoughts. Thinking negative destroys you. It literally destroys you. What thinking negative does, hate, fear, all that stuff, is it doesn't allow your cells to grow. It keeps your cells in a flight or fight mode. And if you've noticed, a lot of what's being expressed today is meant for you to be afraid and to be scared, because they want to keep you in that flight or flight mode. And that's when you know that something deceptive is going on. There's something that you're not seeing, that you're not allowing yourself to open up to. And it's because you hold these harbors, or you hold this fear, that you don't know that you're going to survive. You have this hate because you're told that, this person is that person is that. And because they're that, you just have to automatically hate them. It's all hate, 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 fear, fear, fear. Well, that doesn't do anything good for your body. It actually also makes you sick. So you got to get that out. You got to let that go. Just let it go. Let it go. And think good thoughts, because that's the only way you're going to overcome this. So in March or April, I should know. I would definitely know the direction that things are going to go. There's something that might happen in March or April that seemed plausible, but I'm just not quite for sure, because, man, it's just a weird time. And I hope for the best and prepare for the worst, and I hope that everything's all good. Remember, think positive so that you can grow, so that your consciousness can evolve. Because that's what it's all about, is consciousness evolving. It's not about you. It's not about me. It's about knowing that we're all one, and that we can all create this reality, a better reality together. The only thing is how long will you choose to let other people tell you what you see, and when will you learn how to create instead of letting them create your reality for you? And that is what we need to set up, a non-dualistic system. But you guys have a good one. Stay positive. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. Ha ha ha. Alright, bye.